The mayor and other leading officials spoke to the crowd of people that had assembled in the town square. Bolivia gained its independence from Spain in 1825, and the country was named for the famous South American liberator Simon Bolivar.
Despejar esa incógnita.
The fun began with a parade of school children, marching bands and street musicians. The costumes were lovely, and I was quite impressed. All of the school children had the day off, and many of them participated in the festivities, marching in the parade and playing drums. August the 6th marks the day that Bolivia gained its independence from the Spanish. August the 6th was actually the day of a big battle for the freedom, and now this day is celebrated throughout the country. I felt quite privileged to be able to celebrate this very special occasion with them.
I think my trip to Bolivia, South America, made me realize how much I have. I thought the people there were extremely happy and they enjoy their life. I was only with them for a short period of time, but I was very impressed. I would like to go back again and stay there longer. Enjoyed it immensely.
That one is the female one.
Oh, yeah. Siki, I want to camp close to the female hill where the paintings are, so we can wake up there tomorrow. Okay?
At one time, this area had an abundance of animals. These paintings told the migration of the different animals.
This way?
That's true.
Can we climb up?
Yeah, some of them you will climb up, some of them close on the ground. You can see them on the ground.
Some are closer to the ground. Okay, well, let's take a look at those ones, okay?
Okay. You see them.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different kinds of animals.
Different kinds of animals.
Oh, boy, look at them all.
Yeah. Rhino.
Oh, yeah, the rhino down here.
Baboons.
Where?
Baboons on the right side.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, on the right side.
There's a giraffe.
Giraffe. This one here looks like a goat.
Like a goat, yeah. Do you know how old these are?
They're over 100 years in here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know who drew them?
No, I don't know who do them. Even the Bushmen, if you ask them who painted, they don't know who painted it. Just find the picture like this.
No one knows who painted them.
Nobody knows.
was all right, but I didn't always live here. I went to school in Lurt Bay, and off and on to day school here in Lurt Bay, and that's the only education that I got.
Was that the residential school? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, on Alert Bay.
Yes, San Michael, yeah.
Uh-huh. And was that a good experience?
Oh, yeah. It was still good. It wasn't bad right away. It was good to begin with. I guess something started happening there in the school, but I didn't know because I didn't see that when I was there. But anyway, school was good for me. If it hadn't been for the school, I wouldn't even be here talking to you.
Why is that?
There are many First Nation people that never went to school and they're scared to talk English because they're afraid of mistakes. But I have learned a lot through the years. I have changed. I was scared, of many things, I guess I was scared. But I've changed since I got this old. The older, I guess we're more positive about things, eh?
Yeah.
And when I was just more or less, I was beaten about and pushed about, and that was good for me. Because it sort of built me up, eh? It built me up. And it's a good thing that people went to school so they can understand something about what's going on today. We learned in school the white way. The white way is good, but there are some things we learned that wasn't good.
Like what?
Well, the drinking. I never heard of anyone stealing.
Yeah.
I never heard that word stealing. We've lost quite a bit of what you would call virtue. We've lost.
You've lost virtue.
Yeah, we have to fight hard in order to keep it.
Sarah told me it was a pleasure to meet me because I was from a different culture, but really it was a pleasure for me to meet her.
What a night, yeah, the place was jumping, the drinks were flowing and the band was pumping. You were so cool, it was insane. The floor parted when they saw you coming. You stepped up, you got your motor running. I watched and sipped on my champagne. Spin me round, my head is in a daze. The room is slowly dissolving. Swing, 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 do that swing thing, tip your hat, give me the wing. I want you to be mine. Promise me that you never would be quite as bad as I think you could be. I can see a demon in your eye. Swing, 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 swing. I bat my lashes and I see you spot me. I pout my lips and I smile sweetly. You let desire light your eyes. The space between us disappears quickly. Our legs are moving and we're breathing thickly. And then I start to fantasize. Spin me round, my head is in a daze. My world is slowly dissolving. Swing, 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 do that swing thing, tip your hat, give me the wing. I want you to be mine. Promise me that you never would be quite as bad as I think you could be. I can see a demon in your
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Michelle.
Gary.
Hi, Gary. I hope you don't mind my intruding.
No,
I'm
not
interested
a-
in seeing what you've got here. Looks like a
Sure.
great kayak. Is it a kayak, a canoe?
It's an Inuit kayak made out of canvas, so it's not exactly a traditional kayak.
And the stitching is very fine, I see here.
Yeah, they've done some really good stitching. The stitching would have been done by women, and is stitched so finely and creatively that the water just won't go through these seams.
And do you still see people out on the water on canoes like this or kayaks like this today?
Not anymore. You don't see them anymore out like this. People are using the fiberglass boats and with motors on them because it's a lot faster and a lot more convenient.
Are there other Inuit technologies that were used in the past that are fading out at this point?
Yeah, skin clothing starting to fade away a little. I mean, people used to wear all skin clothing. The caribou coats, the caribou and sealskin pants, all skin wear, I would say, is fading out. People are these days wearing the woods parkas with the down in them and these sorts of things.
Are there some initiatives being taken in the schools to try and bring back the traditional ways?
We've got a program in the school, the Elusivut program, and what that does is teaches the kids how to sew traditional clothes, how to make traditional items like the komatiks. They'll take them out on the land and show them some survival skills, how to make ulus, these sorts of things. So yeah, we do have a program. Plus we in the 1860s, drum dancing disappeared in Labrador. So 3 years ago we brought that back and we did it through the youth here in the community.
Bye.
Just gorgeous. So how many butterflies are there here in this
Here
park?
in the jungle we have like 30 or 40 species.
And those are unique to this area?
Yes,
and
all
unique
of
to
them
Costa
are
Rica?
native from Costa Rica.
And this area here is?
This right here is just like our butterfly restaurant. They need supplements. So most of the butterflies, or some of them, won't feed on nectar plants. So they need rotten fruits like banana or pineapple, or also sugar water. Right there on the sugar water you can find the sponges, is to let them rest on it so they won't wet their wings. If they wet their wings, it'll be really hard for them to fly. That's why when it's raining, all of them will be resting underneath the leaves. Also the sponges, you will see them in different colors to attract the butterflies. They're attracted by the colors, so that's why they will rest on you because of what you're wearing.
You're kidding. Oh, that's great. Can we actually pick them up?
Just close to the body and you can hold them. Close to the body.
Sure.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
Here it is. See?
When you wiped some of that off,
Yeah,
does that
you
hurt
take
them?
off. Well, you take off some of the scales that make the color of the butterfly. So that's why you have to be careful holding them close to the body.
Like this. Okay.
And you just take off some of them.
Oh,
if you take a lot of them, the butterfly will get weak and it's going to be really hard for them to fly.
So if I let him go now, he'll just fly away?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, let's see. Whoa! That's great. Oh, it's beautiful in here.
Also, look at that green post right there. See those butterflies that are camouflaging?
I didn't even notice them.
That butterfly is called hamadryas. The hamadryas is the only butterfly that rests with its wings open. Butterflies will rest with their wings closed, and moths will rest with their wings open. So that's an exception. Some of them just resting. See, it flew away. Just resting. For example, look at this one right here. See the one with the big eye? This is the calico butterfly. This butterfly laid the eggs in banana trees. So that's why, and the larva eats a lot of them. This eye, this false eye, will serve to the calico as a defense mechanism. It will make the butterfly look bigger and more dangerous than the butterfly is. So that's how this butterfly will defend itself. And it's called the owl because it looks just like one.
Oh,
take a look at the eyes.
Amazing.
See?
Wow.
And also this side. You can see that it's kind of iridescent.
It's true, as you lower it or raise it in terms of the light, you don't see as much of the blue on the back.
It will grab on you.
Oh, he will
They're
too.
sticky.
They are.
See?
Oh, isn't
And it's
he?
very, very hard. See?
Okay, so...
I'm going to release it.
That's...
I thought maybe this was the boat we were taking the whole way. Oops. So there's our home for the next few days?
This is our boat. It's a luxury boat. You'll love it.
And it's called Ama.
It means it's the name of my big brother's wife.
Oh, that's really beautiful that he named it after his wife. It means he has to stay married to her forever.
Can go in here.
Okay. Just like up in here. Wow, it's great. I'll take the bags.
Santiago showed me a plant that was like wild ginger, and I was amazed by how many different uses it had, including for women who are pregnant. It was used to, in a certain recipe, to calm some of the stomach or abdominal pain. It's ginger. It was also used in a different recipe by people to cure their dogs when they had a wound or something wrong with their skin. I saw the dragon's blood tree. When it's cut, it bleeds sap that looks exactly like blood. And Santiago explained to me that if a person drinks too much of that sap, it can be very dangerous and could even kill you. But used properly, it cures a multitude of ailments. For example, a woman who decides she doesn't want to have any more children can drink a small amount of this and she won't have any more children. And at the same time, it's used for curing scratches or cuts on your skin. Quite seriously with a knife or a machete or something, and by grinding up the plants and using the juice that comes out, it'll help close up the wound and stop bleeding. And Santiago explained to me that the property of this plant means that they don't need to get a cut stitched up or anything like that. It helps to close the cut up really quickly.
Líquido bastante, líquido.
Her name was Teresa, and she helped support her family by selling bracelets.
How old are you?
عندي كم سنة؟ 11. She's 11 years old. Okay.
Teresa lived at the oasis with her family in a traditional Bedouin tent.
You usually did how many pieces you want?
I'm gonna get 2.
Pick up 2. 5 ايه؟
5 جنيه.
مش كثير؟
What's she saying?
She said it costs £5.
Okay.
This one is
I
good?
thought £5 was a little steep, but she was quite sweet, so I didn't mind giving it to her.
Good. Look at the way she ties her hair.
Thank you, that's perfect.
Say shukran.
Shukran.
See this oasis, it's called Ain Khodra. And the name actually, some people call it Ain Khodra, and some people call it Ain Khodra.
And what does it mean, do you know?
And Ain, it means a spring. So Ain Khodra, it means the spring of Khodra. The people that they live here, of course, the traditional or the typical Sinai Bedouins, they enjoy, they cultivate some of plants here for eat, plus the goats that they have here. And this is it.
Hanny had arranged for us to spend the night with one of the local Bedouin.
We came down from the top of a hill, and I just couldn't believe the masses of people spread out in the valley. Everyone comes out for the market. We went to the Dorze market, which had something like 3,000 people in it. All these people here all of the time?
Yes, that's coming to another country. There's the people. This for the market is starting 6 o'clock. That the finish is 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock?
Yeah.
In the morning? Okay. Salam, Dananish. Dene, what do you have?
Hurry, we said
Kama? No. Can you tell me about your pepper? There were a variety of spices and vegetables for sale, but it was also a social occasion, meeting and greeting friends.
Green pepper?
It would make me very hot. Yeah? Maybe salt would be better for me. Very good pepper. I congratulate you on your pepper. No, 1 is enough. Thank you. It was an experience just to be there. Certainly very different from going to a market back home.
Like a very old cross. What does it say on here?
I can read here that here, San Valle, and Valle is a very typical family name, this area. And the month, date I can't see, July or 1895.
Why did they bury people on this island in the graveyard?
In old days, they came by boats. Because in summertime it's always risking of the animals, wolves, foxes, so on. They can go and try to find something to eat. Terrible to say.
So they dig up the bodies.
Yes, an island was a place animals couldn't go.
I see. Is this the only grave area, or are there other crosses around here?
Other crosses are here also. Let's take a look here.
Okay.
We can find.
Are the Samis the minority group in Finland?
Yes. And we have about 6,000 Sami people in whole Finland.
Only 6,000?
Only 6,000. And about those 6,500 is living in South Finland, Helsinki, main town.
Okay, and the majority of them are up here?
Yes, here in northern parts. In Inari and then northern. And maybe a little bit south also, but most are here.
Were there more before and they've gone down, or were they always a small group?
Yes, they have been more before, but they have been married with Finnish and that's changed after years.
Seems like they have an appreciation for nature and outdoors.
Yes, they've always been here. The daily bread they have taken from nature. From reindeers, fish, birds, other animals. It's the only way to keep you in life.
So do you feel they give back? Do they have a respect? They have a respect for the land then?
Right, very much respect for the nature. Not hate, but they don't like people who don't have any respect for the nature.
Do all Samis in Norway, Sweden, and Russia, and here, do they see themselves as Sami first, or do they see themselves as Norwegians or Swedes or Russians or Finns?
I think that you must do that question later to them.
Roger, what are all these birds here? What are these?
These are terns.
There they go.
2 species of terns nesting here in this area.
What are they screaming for?
Well, this is a very noisy group of birds. They are always noisy like that. And when you come in and they're gone, you know, it's a strange silence.
Okay.
Roger had compassion for every animal, even an injured one.
That's a young tern that appeared to be, I don't know if it's injured or not. I don't know what happened. It doesn't seem to be injured, though.
Walk up.
2 species probably, harbor seal and gray seal.
I see.
He looks fairly ugly compared to the harbor. The harbor seal stays here the year round.
Are they a problem catching all the fish, or?
If the seals are a problem now, it's because we have fished much too much for years and years, even centuries.
Is it possible I'm hearing them?
Yes, oh yes, they're arguing about who is going to get the best rock to sit down on.
We do that. So do you think going to see the seals was worth this?
Yes, it's not a big problem.
Because it's not like we can walk to the nearest gas station.
No, well, I never do.
I should hope not.
Except to get some gas.
Yeah.
But not for my tires, I do that myself.
And what is an isthmus?
It's a peaks flange that is fairly recent in history, in geological history. There were formerly 2 islands and became connected after the glaciation.
You are so lucky to live in a place like this, from what I've seen. It's so varied, it's so beautiful here, it's so diverse. The weather, too, changes. We've had rain today, we had sun, it's rain. It didn't even rain here, it's bone dry.
But sometimes we say we can have the 4 seasons in one day.
You sure did today. So Roger, you must feel isolated living on such a small island like this.
Isolated?
Yeah.
Why should we be isolated? This is just normal life for us. We've always been here. Really, you know, I feel isolated when I do not see any water or if I don't see the sea. I've been visiting France once, and I was in a place where there was not even a lake. I was lost.
Yeah.
More than here.
So you're comforted here. You'd feel like a fish out of water if you were not surrounded by the water that you are.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like to see other places, but this is home, no doubt about it.
You know, I could live here. Maybe I could live with you.
This is another question.
They call the dungeon for those ones who doesn't want to listen. The stubborn one. They're brought here and kept here for days and days. Dark in there, isn't it?
Small.
Yeah, small. It's not a pleasant place.
No.
See that? This is the last part of the dungeon. When a slave is totally stubborn, they bring you and they let you down here by ladder. So there's no way out unless you swim. And at high tides, the water comes in and it's wet in there, and at low tides, it dries.
That day was with this farmer that had this big tractor that took us through the jungle. It was a terrible road. It was full of holes. Actually, the jungle reminded me a lot of our bush that we used to have on the farm where I grew up and how we used to collect maple syrup in the spring. It was quite an enjoyable ride, actually. At one point during the trip, we had waited for 2 or 3 hours for this boat, which was late, and finally it arrived. We all packed our stuff on the boat, ready to get going again, and they couldn't get the boat started. They pulled, and it wouldn't work.
Do you think it might be flooded?
The have a lawnmower and I used to wait 5 minutes and then it would start.
The gas evaporate.
Well, it's something like a lawnmower.
Pull it.
Oh! It's harder than my lawnmower. This damn boat over. Eventually, another boat came along and got the boat started. Are these your friends?
No.
No?
They come here on this boat also. It flooded, soldier.
And then we stalled in the middle of the river and we thought we were going to go downstream over top of these little falls that we'd just come from. And they ripped the boat apart and they used the wood from the front of it for paddles. Finally, we pulled over to the side. There was nothing really that happened, but it was a little bit scary. Probably the only really scary part of the whole trip. We sat around and eventually another boat came along and helped us out, and it was a long day to get from one place to the other place, but we weren't in any hurry. It was
Matana in Hebrew means gift. Cheri means the people where they live, the place people where they live. So Matan Cheri actually means it's a gifted land.
I know it's a complicated history, but could you tell me a little bit about the system of the Rajas and when they were here?
Yes, the Matan Cheri actually, when this palace actually was built in 1565 by the Portuguese. Because there were another palace, but the thing is that in order to please the king, the Portuguese, they built a bigger palace and gave to the king as a gift.
The Raja lived in the palace?
Yes, Raja lived here.
And how many years did that
Well,
span
in this
here?
palace, they lived from 1565 onwards up to before the independence of India. That means 1948.
1948. So long.
The independence of India was in 1947, but they were here up to 1948. After that, they left the palace. From that time onwards, the palace they converted into a museum. Now it belongs to the Department of Archaeology of India.
Is there such a position as the Raja now?
Well, the thing is that the descendancy of royal family still there is, but they don't have any actual power in the society or in the politics. They are considered as king, but they don't have any actual power in the society.
So there is a royal family,
Yes.
no power.
All power, but they don't have any power in the politics now.
Do they live in Cochin somewhere?
Well, somewhere outside the Cochin, yes. Not exactly this area in Matanjeri, but outside Cochin, they have the royal family descendancy there still.
I know it's a complicated system, but today in modern India,
Well,
what's going on with the caste
Very
system?
good question. The modern system, in the modern India, the caste system exists, but actually it doesn't exist in the society. But years back, I mean, when you talk about the high caste Hindu family, the high caste, the Brahmin family and Kshatriya family, they were the politicians and the kings. And today, when you talk about the caste system, the Kshatriya, they're only people, they can become the king, or they can become one of the politicians. But when you talk about today, the present moment, anybody can become a politician.
Okay.
No problem. So caste system actually exists, but in the religion, yes. But when you talk about the marriage system, so people, actually they would like to marry from the high caste and the high caste. They don't like to marry from the high caste and from the low caste.
But that's not exclusive anymore. I mean, people marry across castes now.
Yes, normally, I mean, it's an equilibrium, equality. The question of money and the question of possession in the society, and people, they would like to marry. The caste system means the same caste. Or if we have the intermarriage system also, if I'm a Hindu, they marry Muslims, or Hindu, they marry Christians, but the thing is that normally people, they prefer to marry from the same caste and from the same religion. Actually, the caste system exists in the society, I mean, in the religion, but not actually in the society.
Very good distinction. Yes. Well, thank you.
Okay,
You have
good.
been very informative
Thank
on
you.
some
Thank you,
complicated.
So this is the plantation.
Yes, this is a plantation.
We're up there. What's the elevation here?
Over 3,000 feet.
I can hardly even see around me for all the mist.
Right, all
I
the
feel
mist.
like we're up in the clouds.
Right, right.
I can't wait to try my first cup
Right.
of Blue Mountain coffee.
So this
Hi.
is Upton.
Elton? Hi, I'm Judy. Nice to meet you.
Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. Thank you. Thanks for having us here.
Michael.
Hi, Michael. I'm Judy.
Nice meeting you.
It's nice to meet you and to see a real coffee plantation. So this is where it happens.
Yeah.
So we're following you?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Thank you.
We go this way, yeah.
You lead the way. I expected to see some very slick coffee operation, but I was so wrong.
Our plantation here, it's done coffee process ancient way, like no machinery.
So there's no machinery involved, so there's no mechanical harvesting. You pick every bean by hand.
Yeah, I can give you a tray with the different stages of beans and berries that we go through.
All right, what do we have here?
These are the different stages we have to go through here. These are coffee berries.
This is as they come off the bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they are green like this, they're not ready to harvest.
Oh, so you leave them on the bush until they are red like this?
Yeah, known as cherry ripe. You can taste it as well.
Oh.
If you notice the beans, they're very slippery.
Yes, it's slimy.
Yeah, so, but they taste sweet, so you can
Okay.
try it.
It's very slippery.
Yeah, it got a sugar coating in it.
Oh, it tastes good. Doesn't
Yeah.
taste like coffee though.
No. So to get those slime off, we have to ferment in water. Yeah, as soon as we ferment in water for 24 hours, we got to wash them.
Okay.
And place them in the sun to be dried. If you notice now, you got a shell on it.
At that point, they take the beans and put them in a large mortar. And they have a very heavy pestle that they pulverize the beans with. The husk that's on the bean gets cracked open. Stand there and pound and pound and pound. It's back-breaking work, isn't it? I can see that. But these guys must have really strong arms. When they finish that, it goes to the roasting process. They had a little lean-to shack and an open campfire with cast iron Dutch ovens. How do you keep from crying? The smoke is killing me.
You stay behind the smoke.
You have to keep stirring it constantly. Or they'll burn, huh?
It's a good climate for coffee, you know? Yeah.
So you just keep turning. So you have to be a patient man. And you go home with smoke in your hair.
Oh, sure, in the eyes, you know? Your eyes are strong for the smoke, you know?
Well, I will always think about you guys when I drink coffee from now on.
Yeah.
I'll appreciate it more.
We're gonna go inside and let you guys sample coffee, okay?
Great, I'd love to taste some coffee.
Yeah.
So this is 8 ounces?
No.
No, about a pound.
1 pound.
1 pound. So we're looking at about $40 US dollars to buy this in Jamaica.
The price always on top of the rest of coffee.
It's always one of the highest priced coffees.
Yeah.
I can see why after seeing how much work goes into it. So cheers to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for making.
Here I am in Kyrgyzstan trying to make a telephone call home. I still didn't get through.
I was doing a little window shopping and I came across this shop and I saw this wonderful materials in the window, and so I went in to see this woman. Hi, you speak English?
Yes, I do.
What are these?
These are for the headgear, for the traditional use.
So they wear this on the head, not on the
No, on
neck?
the head.
Oh, it's quite heavy.
Oh, yes.
Do the women wear this all the time?
On the festival.
Festivals. Ah, okay.
You can have some more.
Oh, what's this?
It's a handicraft, and usually we use it for keeping almonds, rings, and...
Oh, jewelry.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Great. I love it. I love it. This is great. And then you just hang it up.
Yes.
And you just... Oh, what's this? She showed me one of her folk costumes from her tribe, what they wear at special festivals. So she let me try it on, and that was really exciting for me. Oh, this is nice.
I think you can wear one.
Could I try it on?
Yes.
As I watched the weaver, I realized again how we take for granted, let's say, buying clothes and things, and they have to make everything from scratch. It's hard. Yeah. It's not only doing work to have a finished product, it's really a process of doing something, of laboring so you can contribute to your small community. The song about the poor man having to fight his way every day to try to make it, I think represented well the situation of the whole village. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's not very large, eh? So it has to sew.
It's the same like this, eh?
Yeah.
But I think this.
Okay, but he sews.
Yeah.
Like here, these pieces, right?
Look, yeah.
Okay. He makes for the whole village?
Yes, he make it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And do you sell it at the market too?
Yes, he will sell it at the market.
The different markets.
Yes, different market.
Yeah, it's like yours too, eh?
Yes.
Look at.
I wanted to talk to you about the fishing. I see all the beautiful boats. Are you a fisherman?
Yes.
Are you making a fishing net?
Yes, we're repairing the net, you know.
I love the boat, and I noticed the eyes on the front of the boat.
That is traditions of Maltese, you know. Make a good luck from the boat, you
Good
understand?
luck. The eyes are good luck for the boat. You're a fisherman, and your friends are all fishermen. Everybody Maltese?
Yes, always Maltese.
Have you been a fisherman all your life?
Yes, always.
All his life?
Yes.
Are you his friend?
No, it's my wife.
You're his wife.
It's my wife.
This is the head fisherman. So, did you learn to fish as a little boy?
Yes, when it's born, always fishermen, you understand?
Who taught you? Your father?
Yes, my father.
Did his father fish?
Yes, my father is always fisherman, you know.
So, a family, generations of fishermen.
Yes, always.
It's a tradition.
Yes, tradition.
It's a beautiful place.
Welcome. This is sugar.
Oh, it's rock sugar.
Sugar, yeah. Look, the green for tea.
Yeah, that's the mint. So you put the sugar right into the teapot.
Yes.
Yeah. Is the sugar from cane?
Cane, yeah. But much sugar, a little bit.
Oh, a little. Un peu. I noticed that the Moroccan people eat a lot of sugar compared to people in North America. People in North America really try to avoid sugar.
علي بالصحة.
بالصحة شديد. بالصحة. And after I go to the terrace for see.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah, I bet there's quite a view up there.
Okay.
Now, here we are in the tannery.
Okay, that's what I've been waiting for. Medieval tanneries.
Here we are.
Yeah.
This is what we call the tannery, the leather tannery. This is one of the oldest and still existing tannery in Morocco.
Raheem, why don't you tell me what's going on here? There's a lot of activity.
Well, here this is the place where they dye leather. All they use are natural plants. They don't use any chemical products at all. They put flour to get the red color.
The deep red one.
Yeah, the red one over there. As you can see, people working. The indigo to get the blue. The henna to get the dark red. And other plants which is tekout. We call it tekout in Arabic. We get from the south to get the brown color. And as you can see, all the work is 100% by hand.
They look like they're working hard. They're about what? They're up to their legs, their thighs.
Yeah,
in
of
dye.
course. Yes, everything is done by hand.
And why is it white over there? That's quite different.
That's the first stage of cleaning the skin after buying it from the slaughterhouse, where they use water, salt, and limestones.
They're
softening it. At the same time, the limestone can work as insecticide.
Fungicide.
Yeah, that's gonna kill, let's say, insects or anything that may hurt the workers. And preserve at the same time the skin.
It was a glimpse into a world I couldn't possibly understand, working there for 8 hours a day, sometimes up to your thighs in dyes, continual labor. It made me think that any complaint I could possibly have about work at home really had no resonance here. It just didn't mean the same thing.
Di rumah Dalai
Dalai Lama.
The Dalai Lama.
Dalai. Ya. Sini lama.
Sini lama.
Oh, rumah apa?
And this is 800 pieces in the book inside.
Really? That's
Yeah.
a book of, it's got 800
Inside, yeah.
pieces, like pages?
Yeah, 800 pieces.
Do they ever open it? Can we see?
Lo jasen do stay do.
Domo.
Oh.
It's always closed up?
No.
How old?
Oh, lo jan do stay.
100 years.
100 years old. What are these called?
This is Sangdu.
Sandu?
Yeah.
Sangdu.
Sangdu.
A trumpet, a big trumpet.
Yeah, Sangdu.
All the houses white.
To keep the country it's more beautiful with the mountains and with some plantation around here. And Oman, it's very hot country in the summer. Even the white color actually to keep cool inside the houses also. So this is the majlis, only for the men, and they're sitting to visit the wali.
That's a beautiful bed you've made. Tell me, you've got different kinds of sweet potato here.
These cargoes are for my pigs. They're not good for eating.
They're not good for eating, but the pigs will like them.
Yeah, pigs will like them. After this, I'm going to go home and prepare my dinner for my family, my husband and my children.
And then when it gets dark, can you go to bed then, or do you have still more work to do when it's dark?
After, when it gets dark, sometimes if you're not tired, we used to make string bags. This is when I made them. See,
Yes,
it's a very
lovely.
colorful.
Lots of work in that too.
Yeah.
And you sleep in a special house for women, do you?
Yeah.
And all the men sleep in their house?
Yeah, in men's house.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you look like holy ladies.
Push it in?
Push it in. Push it more.
Long way.
Oh, see.
Yeah.
Okay, then you cover them with the mud.
This evening we having this special visit into this special village, call it the Mahana village.
The Mahana village.
Yes.
Who are we going to meet here?
We are going to meet the chef of the village and some members of some noble in the village.
So some nobles and some elders here.
Exactly. Oh, the chef of the village, Bonjour.
Bonjour. For the chief, I would like to ask him how long he's been a chief.
Chef de village. 4 years now, but there was the former one. He died and he replaced him.
He replaced him.
Yes.
And why was he picked to be the chief? Was the former one his father, or how does it work?
So here the thing is not from generation to generation or from father to, it's not an heritage, but people just having kind of a local elections. Okay. Like, they have to agree all that, they trust him to represent them, to the authority. It's like a parliament. It's like they were in a national assembly and he's the one who represents the parliament. So when they have big decisions, usually he calls them in a meeting, they talk it, and the last decision will come up to him.
Okay, so it's kind of, they sort of make decisions together, but he has the final...
Exactly, the final decisions.
The final decision.
You choose Mahana to be your destination, so they are the most president, and they saying welcome anytime you want to come back here.
Well, tell him maybe I will come back. Thank you very much.
Well, this is now the spiritual home of the Basque people. This is the assembly house of Guernica and also the old oak tree of Guernica. Mm-hmm. For ages, during centuries, even before we had the first written documents, our Basque people spread out in the provinces of Biscay and Gipuzkoa, they used to hold their meetings under a tree, under an oak tree like this one here. And they maintained this kind of tradition. And back during the 19th century, this assembly house was built so as to celebrate here the meetings to discuss political problems and problems that they had in common, different villages all around Biscay, the province of Biscay.
I believe there was a time when you weren't allowed to have your own government.
That's right. That was after the Spanish Civil War. We were about to obtain our Statute of Autonomy at the beginning of the 30s, the 1930s, but then the Spanish Civil War broke out in 1936. And after 3 years of civil war, he was the one who won, General Franco. So during those 40 years, he suppressed not only Basque culture and Basque language, but also the right to have our own parliament, our own institutions to make up decisions and to make up rules or laws.
So the Basque people have their own government and they're autonomous now?
In any of our 3 little provinces, we have our own parliament, like this one here. But this one here, apart from being the Parliament of Biscay, it's also the spiritual home of the whole Basque people because of that history about the tree.
Now that you have autonomy, why are there still people who want to separate?
It has to do with the past. I mean, as we have a different past, a different history and a different culture, our own language and so on, what they want is to obtain a higher level of autonomy that would turn into a different nation.
Would that require another civil war?
No, I don't think so. In my opinion, I mean, though these days you can get sometimes in our cities people demonstrating what they feel about this political problem, I don't think that another civil war is about to begin. It's just, well, time will tell who has the right, or time will tell who wins this battle, but I don't think that a new civil war is likely to happen.
Hello? 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 Hi.
Okay.
Hello?
Can I come in?
Good.
Okay. Come
Okay.
in? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
So you're beading. Bead? These beads?
Loba.
Loba?
Loba.
We tried to speak to each other without knowing the language.
Oh, belt.
As I went along, it became apparent she knew 2 other words besides hello. Okay and beautiful.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That's long. Start in the middle. Oh, okay, that's the middle. Center. Oh, I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what is this? Oh, to make clothing, like fabric. Yeah, this. Okay. Oh, yeah. Like making thread, spinning. You make it look too easy. Oh, we're coming down to the end. Okay. Okay, now, just like this. Okay, one more time.
After trying to spin the yarn, I decided I was hopeless. And I think she agreed with me. She also showed me how to play one of their traditional instruments. Good, beautiful.
Okay, beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try that. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Unfortunately, I don't think I was any better at that. Stop now.
Bridge.
This bridge goes back to the beginning of the 1300s.
So this was all covered in snow up till recently.
Maybe until a month ago, yeah.
The water's running very fast.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of the biggest and largest rivers in Turkey called Aras River. This part you're seeing in front of us will be covered with water later on as there's going to be much more snow melting.
It's a beautiful area here.
Yeah, yeah.
Along came a nice old Kurdish man. We had fun with him. He said he was on his way to find some herbs that he needed for his medicine.
Yeah, he's about 67 years old. Koyun, he was a shepherd before, so yeah. This is how they're making a living, yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah. Namazını kılıyor, çok güzel. Telling us that his mother is about 110 years old, still alive, still alive. She's still practicing Muslim, prays 5 times a day. Sağ ol, sağ ol, sağ ol, sağ ol, sağ ol. Çok güzel.
Saçları yenileceğim o, kaşları milleneceğim o, gel beni güleceğim o, çok da güzel de gülersen.
Süper ya, çok güzel şarkı.
Evet.
Ya. Hadi Allah'a ısmarladık. Kal sağlıcakla. Kendine iyi bak. Oldu mu? Sağ ol. Sağ ol. Hadi eyvallah. Hadi görüşürüz. Eyvallah. Sağ ol. Sağ ol. Eyvallah.
After my failed attempt at roping, Helen made a wonderful meal of Navajo tea, fry bread, and piñons. Piñons are roasted pine nuts, and she picked them herself.
She made it to me.
And what's in the jar?
That's a Navajo wild herb tea that is found in the up on the mesa here that she picks during the spring.
I keep being struck by the mix of the tradition and the new. She's got packaged golden cornbread mix over here. But she goes out and picks her own tea from the bushes. I mean, there's a little bit of both worlds going on, yeah.
Yeah, she pretty much will use what is in the area here. She said the grocery stores are pretty much way out further out there, so she's out of flour right now, so she's going to sell a cow and get some more groceries. And then this is all like dry canned goods that she brings home. And then the rest is all what is grown in the area, like the corn, squash. And then she does have a couple of fruit trees out in the back.
I can't believe the heat that comes off this little thing.
Yeah, this little stove here can give off a lot of heat.
A lot of heat. I could tell when I came in the door that it was lit. It's warm.
And now the wood that she burns is all juniper and cedar that is found in the area here.
I noticed there was a smell around the house outside. I could tell that it was a wood burning smell. Yeah, from a fire, yeah. It smells nice. And who cuts all the wood?
Usually, one of the boys will come home on the weekends or so, chop all the woods for her.
Oh, the one thing that she doesn't have to do by herself.
Yeah.
I can't believe she can actually do a dinner for a whole family in this little tiny grill. I have a hard time doing it on my 4-burner stove.
Here's a piece of the bread.
Ooh.
Like to try a piece?
Ooh, candy. Thank you. Always cornmeal? Now, so when does she use the stove? Because I notice there is a regular stove too.
That's pretty much when we all come down and visit, and we use the stove.
You use the stove.
We use the stove, and we don't use that one here. God. Now, in a few days here, the kids will be going back to school, and she'll be, by herself again after the vacation or the weekend's over.
So she spends a lot of her time up here all by herself then? Does she have a telephone?
She don't have a telephone. For if when she needs anything, she just drives into town.
You don't worry about her being all by herself up here?
Not really, no.
No.
But I think she pretty much worries about us than her. Us worries about him.
Typical mother. Sounds like popcorn.
Hey, that was a piñon. that is found in the area here.
Pine nuts.
It comes out like every 4 or 5 years or so.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
No wonder it's so
It comes out every 4 to 5 years, and it depends on how much rain we get out here.
You're going to roast them and then?
She's going to roast them, yeah. And then some people will put salt in it, salted pinyon.
And just eat them like a nut.
And then just eat it like it's sunflower seeds that we have. Yeah.
Oh, so you take the shell off?
Yeah, you take the shell off, break it open, and then the nuts are cooked. Most of the time, she'll pick pinyons to snack on when she's out there herding sheep.
Oh, it's hot. I think after you walk 5 miles to find your sheep, you should get to have a treat.
So how did your family come to the island?
My dad, when he came to the island of Oahu, they were shipped out to the island of Hawaii in Hilo to work in some of those plantations over there. There were a contingent of people who wanted to come here, the Koreans. So all of them got on a boat. After 3 years, then they came to Lanai, island of Lanai.
Sam, I noticed that there's some plants that are bigger than others.
Okay.
Can you explain that?
Now this is a good picture right here. This is known as slips, a secondary plants, okay? Now the mother plant is right here. Now I know there's going to be 2 more over here, and this is what known as the slips. You can break it off and put it up here, and that material is going to be used as planting materials later on.
And how long does it take for a pineapple plant to grow?
Oh, when the first planting you're done, it takes 22 months from the time you plant and the time to harvest in the old days.
During the war, Sam, because there was a lot of Japanese people working in the fields, were they discriminated against?
Nope.
No.
We still live the same way like we have been doing.
Were they interned or did everything remain the same?
Only those who were taken to the intern camp because of the fact that, I don't know, some people they figure they're not right to be out there, so they take them in. But after that, they find out he's innocent of all those things.
Where were those camps located?
Well, they had one in Honolulu, but most of them were shipped to the mainland.
And then once the war was over, what happened?
Well, some of those people who belong on this island were sent back to here.
You here? You were here? Oh my goodness.